My background is I'm a bioengineer by training from University of Ghent in Belgium. Also did a master in health economics after that. Worked in regulatory affairs for my whole career. Started at an early development CRO in Belgium, where I worked in different regulatory roles. Also managed the modeling and simulation group. And then a few years ago, I joined Open Orphan, where I was also responsible for regulatory affairs, working with a lot of drug development consultancy clients. And then I joined Poolbeg summer last year, where I'm also the VP Regulatory Affairs and guiding the different development programs through the regulatory strategy. I joined Poolbeg because I was very intrigued by the broad product pipeline and by the products in development, specifically the POLB001 immunomodulator, which I find very interesting because it could have some broad applications. But also the other development programs were quite interested. The second reason why I joined Poolbeg is because I really like the leadership team, which is very business driven and really pushes the business forward and leads it to success. Both the senior management as the board were really nice people to work with a lot of experience and expertise, and that's really a chance for me to also learn about other aspects of the business than purely the regulatory affairs and the drug development. So that's really a bonus when I joined Poolbeg. The importance of regulatory affairs in drug development is actually that the regulatory development and the regulatory strategy is actually the pivotal element to bring a product to the market. Regulatory affairs is the field of clinical research and drug development, where you interact with the regulators like the FDA, the European Medicines Agency, that will ultimately approve the product for the market. So a right and precise regulatory strategy is really a critical element in the development of a drug, of any drug, to bring it where it needs to be to the patients in a timely fashion. So when you're developing a compound, like we are doing, the regulatory approach is really essential to bring the product to the market as quickly as possible. And a fine-tuned regulatory strategy will also make a difference. For example, there are different incentives you can apply for, depending on the indication. For example, orphan indications, when it's an orphan drug. You also have some accelerated approval pathways at your disposal, depending on the compound, depending on the indication, like fast track and breakthrough in the US, but also the prime designation in the European Union. And this really can make a difference in bringing a drug to the market more quicker. For example, if you can get a conditional marketing authorization, that can sometimes save 2-3 years in the development pathway and bring a compound to those that need it the most, namely the patients.